Hi class! So in this video I will be trying to achieve the following objective. Students will get answers to the most frequently asked questions during conference week. So I really enjoyed getting to hear from all of you this past week and talk through your questions and your passions and your projects through conferences, and I did find that there were a few patterns that I kept seeing in what y'all were asking. So I thought a great idea would be to just bring those here into a short little presentation so that maybe if you were wondering these and you didn't have time or you didn't think about asking them, that your other classmates thought of them, and so I thought it would just benefit everybody if I brought them into one place, namely this video. So let's get started with the 3 most frequently asked questions that I saw. Here's the first one. How many quotes should I use? My answer to this is that there is no hard and fast, set in stone equation when it comes to incorporating direct quotations. But I do have a suggestion that comes from what I've seen good papers doing in the past and what I've seen really successful writers tend to implement in the way they write. So you need to be using more of your words than words that come straight from other people. So a good rule of thumb is to use no more than 1/3 of your paragraph to other people's words. Don't use more than 1/3 of your paragraph toward direct quotation. Now, you also can remember that there are other ways to incorporate your secondary sources and your primary sources that don't involve just citing them directly. You can also use the summarizing and paraphrasing techniques that we've talked about earlier. So let's go and jump into our second question. And this one I saw really quite a lot. So the question that I saw and heard from y'all was, how do I write about stasis theory? And this one is a little bit tricky, so I went ahead and made an answer slide on this next slide that I will go ahead and jump to. All right, so I think that there are 2 major ways that you can incorporate stasis theory into your essay pretty easily, and that is by asking yourself these 2 questions and then answering them using terms from stasis theory. So the first one is, where is there agreement or disagreement within the stakeholder? So this is where you can look at your stakeholder, see different points of view that come into play within it. There's going to be dimension in every stakeholder. Where do they agree? Where do they disagree? Well, you can talk about that at the end of your discussion of this stakeholder and give a kind of internal view of stasis theory that way. The second question you can ask and answer in your paper is, where would stakeholders disagree or agree with each other? So if you had your stakeholders all in a room with a representative from each group, what kind of conversation would they be having? Where would their values collide? Where would they have their first level of agreement? Where would they have their first level of disagreement? And how does that first level affect all the way into policy? And the place that I've seen that can really be successful in your paper is the answer to this third question right here, which is, how should I write a conclusion? My answer to you is, talking about stasis theory comprehensively is a great conclusion, a great bit of context to put in your conclusion. And just so y'all are aware, you probably looked through the prompt and saw, well, there's no requirement for a conclusion, there's no specific guidelines or things that I have to have in a conclusion. And you're right, you certainly do not have to, according to the prompt, which is what I will always use to grade you off of. But I think it shows that extra level of sophisticated analysis, you're really digging in, you're really trying to show the full perspective. This is one of those A-B range moves that you can help to bolster up your paper, is if you end with some kind of conclusion where you can step back, reflect on the whole paper as a whole, as in its entirety, and really leave your reader thinking, okay, if I leave with nothing else, what have I learned about how people are talking about this issue? Well, that is a great way to conclude if you can talk about stasis theory involving everyone in the conversation. I hope this short video has helped answer any last questions, and as you are finishing drafting toward your final Mapping the Conversations essay, of course, as always, email me with any other questions. And that's all for this one. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.